Hello, my lovely students. How are you doing today, viewers and subscribers? Glad to have you here today. My name is Constance, and I thank you so very much for joining me in the next episode of my English class. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about or discussing modal verbs. We will be discussing the meaning or definition of modal verbs. All right. If this is your very first time here, oh my God, I thank you. You're welcome, and I appreciate having you here. All I ask for you to do is like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so whenever I post my next video, you, my lovelies, will be the first to have it or receive it. All right, so let's get into this lesson. Modal verbs is what we will be discussing today. All right, so what is modal verbs, you might ask? So I have a definition written out here for you. Modal verbs are also called auxiliary verbs, and the word auxiliary means to help. We have talked about auxiliary in previous lessons. So auxiliary is to help. So modal verbs are also called auxiliary verbs and are used along with a main verb to express possibility, permission, and necessity. To express possibility, permission, and necessity. So possibility. Let's start with the first one. Possibility. What is possibility? Possibility is a likelihood. It's a chance that something will happen or might happen. So that is what possibility is, a chance or a likelihood. Permission is to allow or to give authorization to a person. All right? So permission is to give authorization or allow something to happen or someone to say something. So an example for permission is, say someone comes to your office and they knock on the door, they ask, may I come in? And you will say yes. So you give them permission to enter your office or to enter your home. All right, so that is what permission is. Necessity means it's required, it is needed. All right, you need to take your medication before go to school, or you need to obtain a driver's license before going on the road and driving. All right, so it is what? Necessary, is required, it is needed. So that is what the word necessity means, right? And possibility means likelihood. I'm going fast. Likelihood, right? Or a chance. Now I have written out an example here for you of how to use modal verb. All right, how to use a modal verb. Mary must go now. Mary must go now. The teacher said. The teacher said Mary must go now. Mary is what? The subject, and she has to perform a task. What is the task that Mary has to perform? She has to go, right? She has to go to the bathroom. She has to go home now because her parents is sick. She has to go to the pharmacy. She has to go, right? She has to move from where she's sitting or standing or where she's located, and she has to go to someplace else. So Mary must go now. So the word must, that is the modal verb. And remember we say what? Auxiliary verb. So the word must is the modal verb, right? It's the verb that is helping the main verb. Must. It's the verb that is helping the main verb. So the word must is the modal verb, since it's indicating that it is necessary for the subject. And who's the subject? Mary, right? The subject is the main person the sentence is talking about. So indicating that it is necessary for the subject, Mary, to perform an action of the verb go, right? To perform an action of the verb go. So the subject is asked to perform an action of the verb go. All right, so that is the example of how one should or could use a modal verb. I hope I make it very clear to you. So the word must, right? The sentence read, Mary must go now, the teacher said. The word must is the modal verb since it's indicating that it is necessary for the subject, Mary, to perform an action of the verb go. So Mary has to do the action. Mary has to get up and go. Mary has to move about, right? Mary has to go to the shop. Mary has to go to church. Mary has to go to the bathroom. Mary just has to go, right? So there are 5 main modal verbs that we use in English, in the English language. 5 main modal verbs, and here I've taken the time to research them and have them written out here for you so you can have them in your notes or for preparing you for your exam. So the 5 main modal verbs are modal verbs denoting ability, can and could, right? Modal verbs denoting ability, right? Denoting means to show, right? So modals denoting ability, can and could. First, before I go any further, there are different types of modes, right? There are different types of modals. You have modals in music, in philosophy, in computer science, in software engineering, and obviously in the English language, right? Obviously in the English language. So what are modes? Modes are method or fashion which are used in these different areas or in these different capacity, right? So they can be used in music, they can use in computer science, software engineering, all right, or in philosophy. Philosophy is what they think about, and you come up with different theories, right? So what is the philosophy for A, B, or C? All right, so in English, the modals for English, the 5 main modals for English, they are what? Modals for denoting ability. Ability is for what? Moving. Can and could, to carry out an action that you can carry out. That's ability. So the modals for denoting ability, can and could. So you will use those. Those are the modals you could use for anything. Can you reach for my book? Could you take up the chair? Can you climb the tree? Could you pick some apples for me? All right. So these are the modals you will use in ability. Modals expressing permission. You remember what we said about permission is to allow or to give authority, right? So modals expressing permission, can and may, right? Can and may. May I speak with you, please? May your teacher, may I speak with my teacher tomorrow or today? May I visit you, right? So you're giving them permission. They will answer yes or no, right? So modals expressing permission. Can you use can and may? Can I see you? Can I take a picture with you? Can I take a selfie? All right, so you're giving the person permission, so you can say yes or you can say no, right? Number 3, modals for likelihood, right? Modals for likelihood. Remember, likelihood falls under what? Possibility. So modals for likelihood: will, might, may, can, and could. Will, might, may, can, and could. And that is the modals for likelihood. Notice may falls under what? Permission, and it also falls under likelihood. May falls under permission and also under likelihood. All right. Okay, number 4, modals denoting obligation. Modals denoting obligation. Must, you use the modal must, and you use the modal have to. You use the modal must and you use the modal have to when you have to do what? Show obligation. So for example, what is an important obligation? You have to pay your child support, right? You have to pay the rent. You have to pay your car insurance or your property insurance. You have to see the doctor. You have to go to parents teachers meeting. So those are obligations that you must follow, right? Or follow through. So modals denoting obligation, you use must and have to. I have to see the doctor today, or I have to go to the bank, right? I have to get a balance on my bank account or something of that effect. All right, let's see number 5. Modals for giving advice. Modals for giving advice, you use what? The word should, right? You use the word should for giving advice. So you should speak with an attorney. You're giving someone advice. You say you should go and speak with your attorney. You should go and speak with your teacher. You should have a chat with your teacher. All right. You should talk to those influencers to get a better understanding of how to do YouTube, right? Right? You should talk to the property owner. All right, you should talk to the police officer. All right, so those are the modals for giving what? Advice. Oh, that is the modal for giving advice, I should say. So you use the word should for giving advice. So look at these 5 main modals. Modal verbs, how they can be used. These are the modal verbs, right? And these are the capacity under which they are used, right? For denoting ability, expressing permission, likelihood, denoting obligation, and for giving advice. And these are the modal verbs. In our next lesson, we will go through various or several different forms of modal verbs and how they can be used in sentence. All right, my name is Constance and I thank you very much for watching. I hope you have retained or obtained some positive information from this lesson. If you have been taught this lesson before and this lesson helps you out a little better, I am so thankful for that. All right, and I hope I have brought that to your understanding or to your capability, right? Your understanding or your capability of grasping this subject. All right, please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. All right, check my community page, right? If you're a person who loves to pray or into spiritual beliefs, or you're a believer, right? Or you believe that prayer works, right? You could just write an amen, right, on my community page where I have several different prayers, and I also post lots of prayers on on Instagram, right? My page on Instagram. You'll find the link there in my description box. All right, so this is it for this class, guys. I hope you enjoy my presence here. Please remember, hit the notification bell for more videos. All right, until my next class, I hope you join me then. Until then, bye-bye.